The Milwaukee PBS Next Avenue Community Conversation Series is made possible through generous funding provided by the Helen Daniels Bader Fund, a Bader philanthropy.
Hi, I'm John McGivern, and this is Next Avenue Community Conversations. Tonight we are in Hartford at the Schauer Arts Center, where our topic of conversation will be the impact of the performing arts. Whether we're talking about music, theater, or dance, when we have the opportunity to sit in a darkened theater and experience one of these art forms, what impact does that have on us personally? What impact does the performing arts have on our community? Personally, an impact story of mine. I was 12 or 13 years old, and my mom took my sister and I to a place called the Melody Top in Milwaukee. It was on the north side of Milwaukee. It was a tent that showed Broadway shows. And that night, that summer night, that hot summer night in that tent, my sister, my mom, and I sat and watched the Broadway show called Roar of the Grease Paint, Smell of the Crowd, with the Broadway star Mimi Hines. I walked out of that place that night, a 12-year-old, saying to my mom, "That was magical. That's what I want to do." My mom said, "That's ridiculous." The impact of the performing arts. I'm so glad and happy and lucky to have a job called Around the Corner with John McGivern. A few seasons ago, we spent some time in a place called Spring Green at a theater called APT, the American Players Theater. So before I talk to the executive director of the Schauer Arts Center, I want you to take a look at this.
People know this place. It's a destination spot for Spring Green.
It's an amazing place. They started with, a couple Shakespeare plays, uncut.
It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon.
And then this incredibly insane, intelligent, devoted group of audience that started coming, and they're still here, those people. The audience is amazing. The audience, there's a place where somebody just like, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's like, sit back, lean in, and listen. And that's what this audience does.
I learn in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to
They are like no place else on earth, like the Packer fans. They are like the theater Packer fans. They are here to be...
But also they're fan. I think one of the things we've been here so long, the theater's been here so long, these people that bring their kids when they're 7, 8, 9 years old.
Well, you are a parent, teacher.
Now they're coming back as adults, they're in their 30s.
You guys do well.
Yes, we're doing well, and we're always hoping that we're going to do better. So.
Is that how that works?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're talking with Mary Broadzilla, the executive director of the Schauer Arts Center. Hi, Mary.
Hi, welcome to the Schauer Center.
Thank you so much. So executive director, let's talk about what that means and what you do.
As executive director, obviously I oversee pretty much all functions of the Schauer Center, from the staffing to the theater to the building, but also including the programming and what shows we bring in here to the Schauer Center for our patrons.
Let's talk about programming, because we're talking the impact of the performing arts. Let's first talk about demographic.
Unfortunately, that is not something that we technically and statistically track.
Yeah.
But just by what we know, by our regular full season subscribers, by the people we see come and go, I would estimate, John, that at least 70% of our regular patrons are in that over 50 group.
So when you go to these conventions for programming, what do you have to look at and what do you look for?
Well, we definitely want to serve that group. They are a huge segment of our patrons. We want to bring things that they're going to love and that they're going to come for. We also here have 19 years of history of what has worked and what people have responded to. And that segment continues to be one that comes regularly. And we find that they like what they know. So when we look at that 50 and up group, the things that they were listening to and seeing in their 20s and 30s is always very popular. Primarily with music and the musical groups, even some of the theater stories. So we're always looking at what's familiar to them because we know that they respond very well to that. But then we also, of course, want to mix it up a little and offer something a little different and unique now and then, maybe something different that appeals to them or appeals to another audience as well.
Yeah. What are some of the most attended events? Yeah.
I can tell you that last year, for example, we opened our season with the Bellamy Brothers. Definitely part of the over 50 group,
Yeah.
Still performing, I believe in their 70s, sold out show. On the other end of the season, we had a tribute group. So even if it's not the real group, the tributes, we had a group of relatively young performers doing a tribute to Creedence Clearwater.
Yeah.
Sold out and had this theater full of over 50s absolutely rocking.
So you have a season here that's your job to program.
Correct.
But what else happens in this space here in Hartford?
Oh gosh, so much more than just what we program. We
Yeah.
have our 4 resident tenants, 3 of whom you're going to meet tonight, that cover theater, band, and chorus, who perform here several times a year. We rent out the theater to our local high school, even a middle school and elementary. Sometimes there'll be a show we didn't choose to book, but an agent will call and say, hey, I really want to bring this group to your theater. Can I rent the theater and bring them in?
Can you talk about the impact of the performing arts for you?
Sure. I think maybe that's why it has so much appeal to those of us who are over 50. I don't think we're as tied to the other kinds of entertainment, like electronic, on our screens, on our TVs and iPads and phones and everywhere else. We still really value that in-person, face-to-face live experience. I think that live experience can reach people in a way that no other electronic media can.
And I think the job for you is to get that 12-year-old like I was.
Yes.
For him to
Yeah.
sit out there and after to leave and say that was magic.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we have to do for those generations behind
Yes.
us to make their way to these dark spaces to listen to these great stories.
And we do have a family series where that's exactly the target.
Great.
And what I really enjoy seeing is we get the family series and the grandparents, the over 50s, come with those young children, and they experience that together and they get that magical impression together. And sometimes it's a couple generations of kids and parents and grandparents coming together. I think that's one of the best uses of our theater that we have, and one of the best ways that we're going to keep them coming as they get older and throughout the years, as well as all the opportunities we have for young children to actually get on stage and perform.
Yeah.
Our School of the Arts has several opportunities a year where kids can try it out if they want to sing or dance or act on stage. And what a great way that is to instill that love in them and want them to come and see what other people are doing on stage.
Thanks for talking to me, Mary.
Thanks for being here,
Great
John.
job. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
I appreciate it. So Mary mentioned the groups that also perform on this space. What does it take for those groups to come together? Who volunteers to be part of those groups? Before we talk to some of those people, let's take a look at this.
Ready, and 5, 6, 7, 8.
Let's talk about the concept of community theater. How does it work? Who can be involved? Who's involved with yours?
It's wonderful. We have an opportunity to bring everyone from the community together to do great things for the community and give them a little magic. They're the ones who come out for our auditions. They're great people. They see the audition notice in the newspaper or on one of the websites throughout Wisconsin, and they say, hey, I'd like to be a part of that. So there's not only room on stage for people who want to sing and dance, but for people who want to do something in the shadows to help make all this sparkle possible. That's what really makes the show run. All volunteer from top to bottom.
We're talking about the Hartford Players Theater Company. We're talking with Jerry Becker, who is the president of that organization.
Indeed I am.
And Betty Von Gunten.
That's right.
There we go.
Yes.
You're a performer, right?
I am.
Good.
Yes.
Let's talk first the history of the Hartford Players.
Well, the Players started over a pitcher of beer in 1988.
Is that right?
It's shocking, isn't it? Yeah. Local attorney Jim Moore and I were in a show over in West Bend, and we were wondering why it was. We were driving all over Wisconsin trying to do musical theater for different companies, and we didn't have one right here at home. We were both Hartford residents. So we decided right then and there, before the second pitcher of beer, to go ahead and form a theater group.
You were there at the inception of this place.
That was it. The two of us put it together.
Let's talk about productions a year. How many people are involved?
Well, there's normally 2 to 3. It depends on if they have a spring show, usually 3 a year. And so it starts off with Comicality, which, by the way, is an award-winning due to the efforts of Jerry, truly award-winning show that's won the Footlights Award a couple of times.
Couple
I
of
think you know
times.
that.
Couple of
Right.
times.
And they're hilarious.
So the spring show is generally sometimes a musical, sometimes a comedy, and then the big production is usually in the summer.
And is that usually a musical?
Yes.
Yes.
It is. And are you a musical performer, Betty?
I am.
You
I
are.
am. I didn't do this one. This is Mamma Mia. It wasn't quite my age bracket.
Really?
No.
What have you performed in?
Well,
for
my
Hartford?
bucket list, actually a bucket list dream for me was performing the role of Dolly here. And
Yeah.
that was actually back in 2011, and I loved that.
And you did it.
Yes, I did. I loved it.
Good job.
Loved it. But there have been others that I've really enjoyed doing too. So
Yeah. Do you program for the people who, for your company?
We try to pick shows that will not only challenge the members of our group and anyone else who cares to join us, because it's always an open audition here, or we try to do a show that might appeal to our audience. This summer we did Mamma Mia, and it drew in rave audiences, big crowds. So we try to do something for everybody.
How many performances are there of each show?
In the summer, generally we do 6 to 7. In the comicality, we do 4, and then when it comes to the spring musical or play, we do usually 5.
So it's a season. And,
It is.
And to fill all these seats, who's your audience? Who shows up?
The folks who come to see the Hartford Player shows are the same folks who patronize the Schauer Center over and over and over again. It's the strength of this community. And there's a lot of crosstalk even between not only the audience and our group, but between our group and the Hartford City Band and the Hartford Community Chorus, because they are in our shows. Some of us are in the band or in the chorus.
Right.
It really is a delightful synergy of groups coming together to support the arts from all the different angles.
Absolutely.
Betty, can we talk about what the impact is socially?
You do have a wonderful network of social life with the theater people. In fact, it follows you everywhere. And honestly, what better way to get to know people than working, because you become a family when you're in a play.
Yeah.
And so you have your little squabbles, you know, you have your little things that happen here and there, but you really have a great time. And when the lights go up, as you well know, and you get to perform that production and see the people out there enjoying the play, well, it does such wonders, and you get to share that with all of this family of people that you've gotten to know. It is just a great time, and it's so good for the soul, and it is so good for the souls of those who get to watch it.
And that's the impact
It is.
of the performing arts.
It truly is.
It really is. On the other side.
It is. What
Yeah.
you put out comes right back to you.
And it's great people coming together to build something beautiful in the world. We need more of that.
Yeah.
And that's what the arts in a place like this makes possible.
And I think we can end with that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Our
Thanks.
pleasure,
Thanks for your
John.
time.
Thank
We really
you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thanks. We're talking with Barb Braun and George Roemer from the Hartford City Band, longtime members. And I asked before camera rolled how long you've been in, and you showed me your tie. 1964.
Started when I was a sophomore in high school with my dad.
How great is that? What do you play?
French horn.
French horn. Barb, what do you play?
Percussion now, but I was clarinet player for 40 years.
You're multi-talented. Yes. Let's talk about the history of the band, if we could.
The band started about 1880. It was the Hook and Ladder Band. The firemen made it up. It's been going ever since then. It did lapse during the Second World War. After the Second World War, a gentleman named Doug Smith, and I'm told my father, started it up again. And they had one bass drum and went from there.
That's great history.
Yep.
How many people are involved?
During the winter time, we have 35 to 40 corps members. And during the summertime, we always have high school and college kids coming, so we can go up to about 60.
And where do you perform?
In the winter and spring, we're here, right here in this beautiful theater.
Nice.
And then we have 8 weekly summer concerts at a park, Woodlawn Park here in Hartford.
We also perform in several parades. So many of us in the band are over 50 that we don't march anymore, is that we have a semi-truck come in and we ride on the semi-truck and play.
Because did you always used to march?
We used to march, yes.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah, we did like 10 parades a summer.
Have you all been together a long time?
It's our second family.
How great is
Barb
that?
and I both agreed when we were talking earlier that this is our second family. It's also tremendous therapy. because when you focus on that music on the page, especially when you've got an instrument that you're playing, all the garbage goes out of your head.
Right.
And you focus on that music and you come out feeling refreshed and better, assuming you hit most of the correct notes.
Therapeutic.
Yes.
Therapeutic.
Yeah. It's all volunteer,
Yes,
yes?
it's all
all
volunteer.
And do you audition?
No.
No. Anybody.
Uh-oh.
Got to know how to play an instrument. No.
If you don't have an instrument, we will provide one for you.
We own instruments.
Yeah, we own instruments. And speaking of the over 50 thing, there's any number of people over 50 who will come back. They've finished with high school, they finished with college, they've at the end of their careers, and they say, but I haven't played for so many years. And we'll say, that's okay. You can come play with us. Most of us only play half the notes anyway.
Hopefully you'll play the other half.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing that's fun, John, in the summertime, when the high school kids come and play with us, an old guy like me might end up sitting next to a sophomore or junior in high school. And it's so much fun to mentor these kids.
Sure.
Usually they're a better player than I am, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And then they see our enthusiasm, and we kind of build off of each other. We were talking before, this summer the youngest person in the band was 15.
15.
The oldest was 92.
Because when you're in the middle of playing, that music has no age.
That's right.
You know, when it all comes together and you're playing as one, what difference does it make?
That's right.
You know? Thanks so much for spending some time with us. We really appreciate it, and continued success with this such a rich history of this band, and may it continue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We were talking about the Hartford Community Chorus with Ruth Knoll, who is the founder and first director, and Don Schmidt, who has been a member for 25 years. How are you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ruth, it's an honor to see you again.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to see you, too.
Thank you. This theater is named after Ruth, which I love. Yeah. You're an important member of this community. Yeah, so thanks. Let's talk about the chorus. How did you come up with it? How did you find it?
Well, I had two students who were wonderful singers, and they graduated in 1959, and I was a young teacher, and they said, we'd like a place to sing after we get done here. There's no place to go. So I approached the recreation director at that time, who was Dick Ritker, and his wife was a singer, and I thought, well, we'd have a little in maybe, you know. And he was very receptive to it. And we've attempted to keep our concerts free so that people could come. We do have donations nowadays, but that was our premise, that it should be something for all.
Yeah. And Don, 25 years ago, did you say, I want part of this? How did you get involved?
I attended a concert immediately after high school where I saw a performance of the community chorus. And I was strictly involved in art through high school, so I just didn't have the time. Whereas I had sang in church choir.
Sure.
And always had a love for music in that capacity, and I was even taking piano lessons at that time. But for seeing that first concert, I thought to myself, if I could only get involved.
Nice. And it's all volunteer. People donate their time and want to be part of this.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It has therapeutic value, healing value.
Healing value.
Any of the arts have, because people are expressing themselves, and to get away from the pressures of daily life and work.
How many in the chorus?
Well, it varies depending upon the season. I would say from 50 to 80, okay? But it's running more like in the 60s. If we're doing a major work or a major concert, we've had as many as 100.
Can you talk about what this impact is socially for you?
Well, I think for anybody who's a member of the group, it's an opportunity to get out and release the pressures of the day.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a social group that you're going to always go and do something together, but to get with other people. And people have often said they come with feeling so blue and a headache and feeling so bad, and yet they're leaving with a whole different outlook on life.
And we are so fortunate in that we have this beautiful theater to put on these two performances. And then we have the Basilica at Holy Hill as well. So in many ways, we're the envy of the entire Milwaukee area.
They're going to be calling.
Well, and we could
I can sing.
We could use tenors. We could use tenors. Right?
That's good, Ruth.
Come.
Ruth and Don, thank you so much for taking the time
Our
with us.
pleasure.
We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.
Thank you.
What does it take to keep these groups going? Who do we have to depend on as far as support for continued success with these groups? Let's take a look at this.
If people saw my MPTV special called Home for the Holidays that was shot here at the Schauer Center, it's a really great place to work.
It is. We're a unique theater. Actually, the Schauer Arts and Activity Center is in the old, originally the Hartford Canning Factory building. And you would think with a canning factory that it's kind of a square box. We naturally have wonderful acoustics, as you've experienced.
Incredible.
Yeah. And we actually won a national award for the materials and how many of the materials we repurposed in the facility. So if you see the grand staircase inside, it's beautiful. It's all original wood from the building that was taken out. That didn't exist until about 13 years ago. You'll see benches throughout the lobby spaces. Those are the tops of the old crossbeams that came out of the theater.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it's a very intimate setting, warm sound, warm feeling.
People leave their home to come here.
They do.
Destination.
We have free parking, well-lit
Hello.
parking.
I think that's really important.
It is. After, when you're in Milwaukee, it's a little bit different. So.
It is.
We are talking with Tim Perman, who is the president of the Schauer Charitable Foundation, and Ron Gritt, who is a season ticket holder here at the Schauer Arts Center. Yes?
Right.
Good.
Correct.
Hey, Tim.
Good evening. Good
how
evening.
are you? Let's
Well,
first
how are
talk
you?
about what is the Schauer Charitable Foundation.
Well, Fred and Beatrice Schauer, who were the original donors to this facility, upon their passing, created a charitable foundation of which local organizations in the Hartford and Washington County area are supported.
And we depend on a foundation like that to support an operation like this.
Absolutely. Many charitable foundations will use the annualized earnings that they have from investments to support charitable organizations such as the Schauer Center and other local organizations.
Because it can't just be, individual ticket buyers for one event or one concert that's going to keep the lights on in this place.
That's true. It's a community of support. It's charitable foundations, it's businesses, and it's individuals. And all of them working together is necessary to support an organization and keep the lights on.
Yeah, and a good way of support is for what you do. So you buy an entire season of tickets.
Yeah, we have, Martha and I have since its inception.
Yeah.
We've seen you a number of times.
Have you? Okay.
I still decided to come back.
Well, thank you. Is buying a season pass, that's really giving support to this organization.
It's one way to support. It actually, people donate in many other ways besides buying tickets.
Yeah. What other ways do they show their support here?
Well, there's fundraisers. You could be a supporting member, which you pay a certain amount of money, whatever you choose beyond your ticket price.
For a community of this size to have this operation, and the community needs to be applauded for their support. And how do you make sure that happens?
Well, this facility is here because of Fred and Bee's initial generosity, and that was augmented by a local campaign called the Centers Campaign. Local businesses and individuals contributed. They made pledges and paid those pledges over years, and as well as the Schauer Foundation continues to provide annual support along with the fundraising that the center does on its own. So it takes all of those things continuing to operate as well as the initial investment to keep a facility like this as vibrant as it is, and we're very blessed in this community to have the Schauer Center here.
What do you see challenging getting these lights on for the next 10 years?
One of the challenges, but also an opportunity, is to keep younger people active in all the programming that goes on here. That younger group of participants will continue to be ones that will, I think, hopefully financially support the center as well. I think there's definitely a sense of pride in knowing that our community got this going. We continue to support it. We all come here. We come as family members, we come as neighbors, we come as friends, we come as colleagues, and to participate together in that is, I think, very beneficial to each of us, and we all walk away with a sense of we're part of it.
It's been great taking the time with me. I appreciate you coming tonight, and thanks so much. Thanks for your words. We appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Thanks. The impact of the performing arts for people over 50, whether you're a performer or you're a supporter, the impact is profound. This is Next Avenue Community Conversations. I'm John McGivern. Thanks so much for being part of our conversation.
If you think you're good singing in the shower, can you come and join your choir? Or you have to have special talent.
Our choir is open to anybody, whether you sing in the shower or not, okay?
I want to know if that pun was intended when you asked if you sing in the shower, can you sing in the shower?
The Milwaukee PBS Next Avenue Community Conversation Series is made possible through generous funding provided by the Helen Daniels Bader Fund, a Bader philanthropy.